Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 445. This show is brought to you by Primary Arms, VZ Grips, and TacPack. In this show, we'll be discussing a cleaning product review, a shotgun, a red dot high power, a 5-25, and a unique knife/dagger. And as you may know, we showcase guns, gear, and anything else you may be looking for. We do our best to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. And with me tonight are your normal co-hosts, Tony, Rusty, and Rob, because, you know, who knows, Zane will show up like about as often as Tony's podcast comes out. So, you know, that's so one or the other. If Tony's podcast comes up,
the drunken solstice.
Yeah. So, as you may have heard a second ago, we have a new sponsor. It's TacPack. And TacPack is a monthly subscription box that you have been looking for. Every month you'll get a monstrous package filled with EDC, tactical, survival, and professional grade gear. In the box is at least $90 worth of gear for the low price of $49.95. This gear isn't just crap they found in Buffalo Bill's basement. It's top quality stuff from top tier manufacturers like AR parts, knives, flashlights, and cool stickers. This is the gear you'll actually use, except maybe the stickers. If you want even more life-changing gear, you can always upgrade to the TacPack Plus box. Get yours today by going to TacPack.com. And if you use the coupon code GUNGEAR, all one word, for new subscribers, you'll get at least an additional $70 in free gear that ships separately from your first month's TacPack. And of course, that code's only valid on new box subscriptions. They did send me a package before I opted to say, yeah, we'll have them as a sponsor. And to me, it looks like the TacPack Plus, but, you know, it's got all kinds of crap in here. We got a little axe hatchet thing so we can make fun of. Muzzle brake, a knife that's got a D2 blade, so some...
Puff, puff, pass, brother. Puff,
that's
puff,
right.
Pass.
Some sunglasses / shooting glasses, a Luth AR stock.
I could use that.
Yeah, and it also had a +5 mag extension from, let's see, Aeronox in it too, and something in a Battle Arms mag catch. There might have been more stuff in it, but it's definitely worth the price you pay for you to get some cool stuff every month. I think I saw a picture of this month's October one on their website or Instagram or something. Had, if I remember right, it had one of these flashlights from PowerTac, the E9R, which by itself's like a $80 flashlight. So you're getting your money's worth. I thought it was pretty cool stuff. So go check them out at TacPack.com.
See,
go ahead,
problem
Rob.
with those are I had the TacPack. I had one of those subscriptions, and the one I reckon that does, and about 3 other ones. And I said, you know, it's pretty much the same stuff, just mixed up every month. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I don't have any of those subscriptions now.
Right. You get a knife and you get some other cool stuff, flashlights. Yeah.
I've got a bunch of crap in a crap drawer.
Yeah. You know, and it's to each their own. They are a sponsor.
Yeah, get it, try it for a few months. If you like it, if you don't like it, cancel it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you get extra stuff when you sign up by using our code. You know, Christmas is coming up. You know, if you're into that type of stuff, you can always give it as a Christmas gift to somebody.
Of course, next month they'll probably cancel us as a sponsor. So sorry.
Yeah, we'll blame Rob. We'll just charge him for the extra money. But yeah, so now, what did you guys do?
Coming on Rob's paycheck.
Yeah, we'll
yeah, all that money you pay me every month, Chadwick.
That's right. Hey,
Hey, just remember something. We're not afraid to pick on our sponsors.
we have picked on pretty much all of them at some point or another. But I think by signing up through the Firearms Radio Network, they probably had a good idea that, you know, you're going to get the honest truth out of us. So, what did you guys do in firearms, if anything? I think Rusty went hunting or something.
I spent the weekend bear and hog hunting, and man, I tactically fondled a bunch of lever action rifles. One of the guys I was with, he was running a sweet lever action Henry 4570. I tell you what, you just cannot go wrong with one of those. And a lot of the guys that I hunt with run old 30-30 Winchesters and Marlins, but when he broke out that 4570, and he had the leather, custom leather, the shell holder on the buttstock, and then he had he's a Navy veteran, and he had the leather sling on it that had Navy and all the stuff down it. And man, I tell you what, that Henry being all made in America and everything, it made me proud to be hunting with him.
Nice. It was not very nice.
It was not. I mean, it really did. I mean, it was his first time out there hog and bear hunting, and he was proud of that gun, and I was proud of him.
Nice. Yeah, Henry centerfire guns are made in Wyoming. Henry Rimfire made in New Jersey. Very well made guns. They support the diversity shoot. They send firearms out to us. They also support the kids shoot that I volunteer at. So it's pretty cool. I didn't do anything. Dry fire and get ready for this diversity shoot coming up Thursday.
I felt like crap. I was under the weather all weekend. I just felt like crap, so I didn't do nothing this past weekend.
See, I supposedly am sick, but I still went to the range. You know how it is. I had to sign in all these sponsor optics they sent us. The Primary Arms little mini and micro reflex sights. So
I gotta give a shout out to the Turkey Creek Outlaws. That's the group I hunt with. We had a bunch of the women that were out there, the wives of the guys that we were hunting with, that stayed in camp all weekend. They fed us. I think we probably put on about 5 pounds after us running dogs all weekend. We had some of the best food I'd ever eaten of camp food out there. These ladies made over open fire and everything else, just the stuff they made, and the homemade wine and the moonshine and the stuff that was made up there. And well, I don't know if I can say moonshine, but the brew we had up there was fantastic. And these people
it was good because it came in a mason jar from somebody who had one tooth, right?
Well, everybody had their teeth, but it was there was a jar up there. It was a jug. If you looked at my pictures, there was a jug, and it was
Don't
homemade.
ask too much about what's in there. Just shut up and drink it.
What it was 120 proof, and he told us ahead of time. I usually don't drink anything over 90 proof because you lose your taste. It was 120 proof, but he took a little maple and sugar and he put it in there and he rolled it over a fire till it burnt inside the jug and give it that whiskey flavor that maple sugar did. And I tell you what, it was some of the smoothest whiskey I'd ever drank. And it was dangerous. It was dangerous.
Yeah, no why you got drunk.
Hell, drunk wasn't the word for it. I had somebody drive me Saturday morning.
There's video somewhere.
You wake up, Nicky, going, "How the hell did I get here?"
There's video somewhere of Rusty riding a bear through the woods.
It was like Super Troopers. That guy's out there with that bear.
I can see that.
That's Rusty. Okay, so
well, that's a mental image I did not need.
Yeah. So announcements. Our bandwidth sponsor, well, Tony can't stop laughing, is our friends over at Patriot Patch Co. and their subscription to the Patch of the Month Club. Now, of course, you get cool patches like, the witch on the broomstick, which is October's, which is appropriate. Okay, it's some sort of AR-15, AR-10, suppressed, whatever, but you get the idea. They have all kinds of cool stuff over there. Signs, t-shirts, you name it. Go check them out. They do a lot of stuff for us. They make cool patches, cool everything. So you can get t-shirts on the FRN site or under the merch tab at firearmsinsider.tv. You can get the Kilt in the Streets ones or the Gun and Gear Review podcast ones. Now, of course, you can also, if you go to the FRN site, you can get like Firearms Radio Network ones also, if you would like. but we're pushing ours, not theirs. You know how that works.
Yeah. It's like Hilton Street,
Hell with
baby.
them.
Yeah, like that. So we have
Not the sidewalk or driveway, but the street.
That's right. And it applies to horses too.
Horse for sale, but not on sale. And she's still in the yard.
So we have a bunch of discount codes and or affiliates, depending on what they are. We appreciate you using them. There's a lot of them over there. So save yourself a few pennies and go, check them out. Now, as I was saying, I cited in that Primary Arms Classic Series Mini Red Dot. And you can go over to firearmsinsider.tv/giveaway and sign up to win one. On Halloween, basically, I'll pull a name out of some random generator or something and see who wins. So good luck. Go on over and enter to win. We really won't spam you with emails because
We're too lazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to send out emails when you listen to the podcast anyway, so you get all the information. So, Rob.
Yes.
Is
it my turn?
Since you're not sure what you're doing here today,
I have no idea what I'm doing here today.
we'll give you something to do then.
Oh, yay. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows, when one or more of the hosts may or may not have been consuming some expressly, possibly illegal alcoholic beverages.
Is there illegal alcoholic beverages?
Well, I didn't say when we consume them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say when we consume them. I mean, this is just good old whiskey right here. And I pay taxes on this because I'm actually liquor.
Yeah, mine's empty, so.
Oh, you got to get a refill. But you got to wait until after you get done telling us about this modern Spartan system stuff.
I just had a little because, I just got to kill off the COVID. So, and they say alcohol works. So I figured I'd try it out.
Alcohol kills brain cells and does some other stuff.
After last weekend, Rusty will never catch it. So, yes, we are here. It's modern Spartan systems. Basically, it's cleaning, lubrication products. They have other stuff on their website, but this will take you through what we're talking about, or at least I am. And of course, we all know that maintaining your firearms is a key point in keeping them shooting properly. And the modern Spartan system stuff is in the market to help you with those needs. Cleaning, oiling, greasing, anything else you might need that's firearm related or something else, they have it. I received one of their starter kit pluses, some blade oil, which as you can guess is for knives, and an engine additive, but that's kind of just thrown in there to try out. So, we'll continue on with this. Modern Spartan Systems uses what they call a nano shield technology to manufacture their products. The nano shield allows molecular particles to penetrate and fill in the microscopic gaps in metal, which all gun barrels and anything that pretty much is cut has in it. It also does this through heat activation, because if you heat it up like a barrel, it opens the pores up more, so more of that nano shield molecular attraction happens. Like I said, the barrels will do this on their own. You can always heat up some other parts if you're putting them on it, like in an oven, heat it up, 250 degrees or somewhere around that if you're really concerned about it. I just mainly put it on the stuff and used it as normal. And it effectively, because of that molecular attraction, smooths out the rough spots that you can only see under a microscope. Another thing that makes the modern Spartan Systems products stand out is they are green labeled. And essentially, their products are marked green or earth friendly. They use a definition of green from the EPA. The EPA standard says that there must be either biodegradable or inert. So these are either one of the two. Modern Spartan System does almost jokingly say, although we are not recommending that you ingest our products or use them as salad dressing, our formulas are generally quite safe to work with. So if you're worried about harsh chemicals, these might be what you need because they're not harsh chemicals in that respect. The products I found work just as good, better in my opinion, actually, than some of the caustic ones we're used to. And the starter kit plus is exactly that. Kit includes everything cleaning and lubrication you need. It comes with the modern Spartan Systems accuracy oil, carbon destroyer, accuracy grease, copper lead destroyer, and crystal clear. Now, I'll go over a little bit about each of those, kind of. The carbon destroyer and the copper lead destroyer, they're your actual cleaning products. You use the copper lead destroyer for cleaning barrels, slides, bolts, basically anything that you would use bore cleaner for. You know, it works well with both copper and lead, in my opinion. The best parts is that they aren't any harsh smells. If you've ever tried to get copper out of with an old school solvent, you know exactly what I mean. Now, my favorite part in the kit itself is the carbon destroyer. It actually works like nothing else I've ever used, including other, quote, carbon removers. Just soak your carbon up part for a bit and then wipe the carbon off. Literally, that's how it worked. If it doesn't all come off, you can repeat, or you can scrape the carbon off, which comes off much easier than it would because it's been loosened up from that carbon destroyer. Now, next up is their accuracy oil and grease. And this is where their nano shield tech really shows. For our purposes, the grease is just thicker oil, so that's about all I'm going to say about that. So anything that says oil, that it applies to the grease. Now, the accuracy oil is fantastic. It's called accuracy oil because the nanoshield technology, by smoothing out the imperfections in the barrel, it makes it more accurate. But as a byproduct, the barrel is also easier to clean, which is a nice byproduct. The amount of accuracy gained has a lot of variables, but it does have some validity. I just can't say if it helped my rifle since I'm not as good of a shooter as I once was. And it's one of those things, unless you put it in a rest condition-wise, I couldn't really tell. There's other places on the internet that have used this stuff and have some data on it, so you can always look it up. Now, the other advantage to their accuracy oil is that it reduces friction by 90%. And you can actually feel the difference when you cycle the firearms. And since it bonds to the metal, it protects the surface. And I also noticed that over time, it doesn't become sticky like other oils I've used. And it stays slick even after sitting for a while. And, you know, that's important to me because I have used quite a few other oils that if you let them sit for a while, they do become kind of sticky. And I was like, okay, that's a big plus for it. Then there's their crystal clear that comes in the kit. It's modern Spartan Systems glass cleaner. Works on plastics also, so you can use it on safety glasses and stuff like that. They designed it to be used on scopes, binoculars, and glasses. In order to get the most out of your firearm, of course, you need your scope to be clean and clear. So, you know, just spritz some on your favorite, you know, lens and wipe it off with a cleaning cloth.
Just a little bit.
You know, and as Tony said, you know, since I wear prescription glasses, I use it on them quite a bit. They come
just
out
a little
clean.
dab will do you.
That's right. That's right. I've seen those cartoons.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Of course, the small bottle that it comes in, it's like a 2-ounce bottle, is great for putting in your hunting bag or range bag. Now, they also sent me some of their blade oil. Basically, it's knife oil and protectant. It's very similar to the accuracy oil, reduces friction by 90% also, creates a slick surface to help sharp things glide through whatever they are cutting. It bonds with the metal to create the same nano shield. On a knife, it's supposed to help by effectively making the sharper edge smoother by smoothing out the imperfections. They can cause it on anything from cuts to scissors to axes you can use it on. Protect them from rusting also. I've been using the blade oil on all the knives around here, which there's quite a few. It does make them open easier. I'm terrible at keeping them their sharpest, a lot of them, so if it makes them cut better, I don't know, but at least they're protected from the elements. Now, they also sent me their TVT engine oil additive. Basically, it reduces friction, bonds the same way the oils do, but it's for your engine. They say it will increase fuel mileage. I dumped some in the engine, ran it for a while. I saw about a 3% gain in mileage. Not a ton, but at $6 a gallon for gas, it might not be such a bad idea. Now, the Modern Spartan System Starter Kit Plus is great. It has 2 ounces bottles of everything you need to clean and maintain your firearms. The stuff really does work, all of it, even the blade oil. If I were to choose one product to buy, it would probably be the accuracy oil, and then it would be the carbon destroyer, mainly because the oil does so much. It could be used on anything. And then, of course, I don't like cleaning carbon off, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So you can head over to Modern Spartan Systems. They also have stuff for fishing and automotive and, of course, firearms. So for the Firearms Insider Review, 8 key points. Claim to fame. Advanced green cleaning and lubrication products. Target market. Pretty much anybody wanting great gun cleaning and oiling products, knives, fishing, or automotive too. Features and benefits. They accuracy oils, 90% reduction in friction, low stick surface so dirt doesn't adhere to it, and it adheres to metal surfaces. Grease is the same. Carbon destroyer, it's water-based penetrating solvent that uses a micro-emulsion technology. Copper lead destroyer, barrel metal safe, won't damage metal parts or anything to that, and it has low to no odor. The crystal clear, of course, is great for scopes, binos, safe for anything from plastic to glass. The blade oil is your general knife oil that reduces friction and protects and enhances blade performance. So for what others are saying, there's some stuff in there. There's also a link to some other reviews. Price point, the starter kit costs $59.95. The blade oil is $14.50 for those 2 ounce bottles. Retail, pretty much get it from them. They did give us a code for 15% off, and that is GGR15. So if you want to save a few bucks and try some out, head over to Modern Spartan Systems. So for our rating, the pros, it is slick. You can tell it reduces friction by 90%. I don't know, but I'll take their word for it in that case, because you can tell there is a difference. It does bond to the metal. You can get everything in the kit to try it out. The carbon remover works great. It is made in the USA. And for the cons, it's hard to find locally. And basically for all the products, I gave it a score of 8.5, which is great because as far as lubrication and cleaning products go, they worked fine. You guys got any questions, Tony?
I know Chad likes lubrication and stuff like that, but come on.
Especially in easily applicable bottles.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some bear hunt with me, so I got to.
Hey, the only thing I'd be careful of is the stuff that used to clean the glasses. I just wonder what chemicals it's made out of, because again, my glasses that I wear, I get those anti-glare coatings. So
right, anti-fog, anti-glare.
And
all right, I don't know how it works. I've used it.
Right.
I actually had it, and I've used it and it cleaned my glass as well. But then I find out that I have destroyed the coating that were on those glasses. But I don't think it was because of their product. I think it was because of the way I didn't take care of them. But I know,
imagine that.
Imagine that. So, I used their product, and it worked really well. I also cleaned with their product. I got a couple pictures from, 2-3 years ago that I took when I pulled my AR bolts, and I ran them with that. So, I've used this stuff. Even, what is this little one?
The grease, is that?
Yeah. The accuracy grease.
Yeah, which is just thick oil.
Yeah. So I was using that. I used that on the rails of the handguns and stuff like that. I was just trying to find a use for it because it's oil. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps and I did CLP, and you just put that on everything and scrub stuff.
Right.
So did it work better? I know one thing good about it. It didn't stink up the room, and I didn't get yelled at for making the house smell bad.
That's a big plus, especially if you've used something with the ammonia smell for cleaning copper. That stuff's nasty.
Ballistol.
Ballistol is what I was going to say. That's what I use 90% of the time. So the carbon thing, like on the AR boat faces or any boat face, especially 22s, that's where I was getting it because I have the 22 conversion kit. Now this stuff, I'm really interested in the carbon destroyer and the oil.
And that's the thing is they do make, it doesn't come in the kit, but separately they make an extra strength carbon destroyer. So the normal stuff worked so well. Like I literally just tossed a bolt in there in a little bit and, I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay. And, I kind of scrubbed it off and you could tell that it was half the carbon came off and I threw it back in there. And then I tried scraping a little bit and it scraped off way easier. And so it was kind of one of those things. It's like I've used carbon destroyers from other companies and they didn't work like this. Like everybody was like, oh, this stuff works great. And I'd buy some and I'd be like, the carbon still doesn't come off. So
it sounds pretty cool. I want to have try those. My 22s are in desperate need of cleaning, especially like my Walther. And so would you recommend this for like a suppressor to clean a suppressor?
Yes. I was going to say, I can't remember if your suppressor comes apart, definitely, because you can like soak the baffles in it or, soak the baffles in it, clean them off. And theoretically, if you put the oil on the baffles, then when you put it back together, the next time it should be easier to clean the carbon off because those baffles heat up and that oil permeates them.
So can you filter the oil out and reuse it, or is it once you use it you gotta throw it away?
You could probably filter it out, filter the stuff out for not the oil, but the the carbon destroyer. You probably could. I just tossed it because it does kind of turn kind of black when you soak it in there. But if you just have a little bit of carbon to clean off, just put a little bit on like a freaking wire brush and brush it off. So
when you say soak, you don't mean you dip it. You just kind of like
I just kind
put
of
it on a towel and just
I just poured it in a little container because the AR bolt's not very big, not the bolt carrier itself, just the bolt, and just left it in there for like, I don't know, half hour and came back to it. I don't really even know how long it was. It wasn't like a long time, but it wasn't like 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, it sounds something I really need to check out because, with shooting a lot of 22 and suppressed, it gets very dirty.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So that was the Modern Spartan Systems products in general for cleaning and maintaining firearms. Now, we have a new ad reader for this ad, so, I just gave it to Rusty because he needed something to do.
All right, here we go. This week's sponsor is VZ Grips. They've been manufacturing handgun grips since 2003. With a reputation for quality, consistency, and innovation, top-tier manufacturers choose VZ Grips. They come in a variety of styles, patterns, colors, and are manufactured from proprietary G10 micarta or carbon fiber. Available with varying degree of texture, VZ offers a wide range of grips for all different firearm types. Made in the USA, VZ Grips offers you more than just handgun grips. Featured grips this week is the CZ75 Alien. I picked these because Tony has a CZ75. And I thought these would be fantastic for his. And they come in different colors. And they're really cool. They got a blue and black color that I thought was just fantastic. If you look at them, They look really cool. They got a nice, good bite to them. The reviews that I read about them, they got a variant of the gator back texture. These grips provide a lot of good grip with just the right amount of bite to them. So please go check them out. They make wonderful products, and they have a lot of different colors and stuff. And the grips are just fantastic looking.
So I've been looking at these grips for about 3 weeks now. Every time because my CZ is older.
I know.
And I just wonder, it's like, will this retrofit on old?
Did you send him an email, Tony, to find out?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'll do it.
I did pick this grip because of you, Tony, with your CZ. And I did pick, when I looked at them, the black and blue. That's the ones that I thought would make your CZ stand out. That's just my personal opinion.
I want to start taking it to. I want people to try it because I think because of the advent of things like stuff in the show tonight with the P35 or clones, I think steel frame 9mm guns might be something good for even new shooters, people with smaller hands. I think it might work. And my CZ is actually police trade-in. So it had the hard plastic grips, so they're kind of slick. Like I've run them in class. And my other one had rubberized grips.
Right.
And that was all cool. Yeah, it wasn't Packmeyer, but it was their verse. Same thing. Yeah. But they were from CZ. And I ran them. And too big because they had the finger grooves in them. You know what I mean? So now you it wasn't too big for me, but a new shooter or someone with smaller hands, you've made the gun bigger. These VZs, just on the side, you can also get them in different thickness, and you can get them with the contoured. So VZ gives you a lot of options.
Yep.
Yeah. I looked at them because Chad sent me a message while I was hunting. I just happened to be going up the mountain where I got like 100-yard stretch where I had cell phone service. I said, I'll have to look Sunday or Monday. And I stopped for a second, and I said, and I popped through there, and I seen the CD75s, and I was like, this is the ones that I want. And then I seen the color, and I was like, these are the ones I want because of Tony. Because everybody knows I love steel frame pistols. Even though I carry 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I carry a polymer. Classic is classic, and we're going to get into that in here in just a few minutes.
So you can get 15% off those grips by going to vzgrips.com and using the code GGR15. Now, product spotlight and discussion. First up, because, Tony loved the Marine version last week so much that we didn't talk about, I put the Tokarev USA TX312 HD in the show notes. MSRP is $279, but this is their defensive shotgun, 18.5-inch vented barrel shrouded barrel. So, it is a barrel shroud. It's 3-inch chambered 12 gauge. Of course, it's made in Turkey, so the Turkish walnut stock and forearm are actually Turkish. It's got a rubber recoil pad. It's 4+1 capacity. It says there's an optional +1 extension available. It does have a ghost ring rear sight with fiber optic front. It comes with choke tubes and wrench. They are Benelli patterned. Of course, it also has a pick rail on it on top, which it doesn't mention, but hey, it's there. For the price, a lot of these Turkish shotguns, in my opinion, are probably pretty good, especially the pump ones because, well, pumps usually tend to not have near as many problems as semi-autos do when you're talking about questionable manufacturing sometimes. Now, Rusty will tell us all about how this thing is not compatible with everything. And I don't really know, but for the price, if you're just looking for a home defense shotgun, something like this might be something right up your alley.
Okay, so I've never laid my hands on this. Let's just start right off.
Right.
And saying, okay, so from what I've read, this is supposed to be an 870-ish kind of clone takedown, sort of. but it has kind of like a Mossberg dual sliding rail system, like the 500 590 system, I believe. But it looks like the Mossberg. I mean, I'm sorry, the Winchester 1897 when you get to a certain point. And if you go around, I don't know if I can post links in the show note. Chad probably can. But if you go about us in the show, just right next to the link in there, look at the bayonet lug on there with a bayonet on there. If everybody's looking in there, that thing is an 1897 all the way, except for the pick rail on the back and the ghost ring sights. This shotgun, from what I read, the 870. Somebody tried one of the Wilson Combat 870 plus one extenders on there. It screwed on, but it didn't screw all the way down. So I think there's something with the threads on there. It might be proprietary. I'm not sure, but it's a Turkish shotgun. There's 2 or 3 manufacturers of these guns. You get what you get for that price. I've got a couple. I like them. I like Turkish guns. I think they're cool. For the price, I think you can't go wrong with them. Most people don't run them like Tony runs them, or Chad runs them, or I run them, because we run them a lot. We run them hard. And if you can run these like Tony runs them, and you can run 2 years out of them and they break, throw them away. Go buy another one. Most people, if you put a box of shells through these in a year, you did something. Because most people won't. But I don't think they're gonna put all this time and effort to make this retro gun to look like it does, and put the new accessories, the tack rail, even though the ghost ring sights are polymer, and to make it look like this and it be a flop. That's just my personal opinion. That's what we're here for. Other people might have other opinions. It's got 3-inch chamber on it. I mean, hell, we've been shooting people with 2 3/4 for years. So, I've got a Chinese shotgun made by Stevens, and it runs. So, hey.
Yeah, I have a Turkish shotgun. Mine's imported by Rock Island, but so far it's ran fine. But I don't expect a lot out of it. But heck, as much as I shoot it, I'll still probably get 10 years of life out of it.
All the forums I went on, these guys run like 100 rounds of double aught out of it. He run 100 slugs through it, run a couple hundred rounds of like number 8 bird shot. He says it's still running. He says the only problem he had was with the mini shells, and he says I think I was short stroking it. And he says because you have to run the pump like a man, and that's any shotgun. Because
yeah, so. Got to run it like a man, i.e., don't read the directions.
That's why it was short. That's why it was short stroking.
That's right, short stroking. But yeah, dude, I have Turkish shotguns. I have Chinese shotguns, of course. I also have Winchester. I also have Remington 870 Wingmaster. So yeah, I've run lots of rounds through the Turkish shotguns. They work. Now I was watching James Reeves on the Firearms blog, and he had a Turkish shotgun. I don't know whether it has anything to do with this company or not, but his pick rail sheared off after a few rounds. He was having problems with my primer strikes. He was having problems with a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if he doesn't check his gun over when he gets it, but I noticed a lot of YouTubers, especially if they have a preconceived notion of something that's cheaper, they just take it out of the box, load it up, and start shooting. And it's like, come on, man, you get what you pay for. Now, when you're getting an inexpensive type firearm, check it over, man. You should do that regardless of what you get. Read the directions, take it apart, clean it, lube it, put it back together, and then run it. Don't just take it out of the box and go somewhere, because things are inexpensive for reasons. It might not be the build quality. Yeah, get your starter kit for modern Spartan systems.
I figured out that's good, Tony.
But what I'm saying is they're cheaper for a reason, and the cheaper might be quality control. They might not put it together well, or it might not have been cleaned, or it might be packed with all kinds of shipping oil. And because again, it's coming from overseas. Use your sense when it comes. I like Sean's dad. Sean's dad was a chief, and he said, "New gear is dirty gear." So you get it, you take it apart, clean it, and then you run it. Don't assume that it's going to work as well as a Benelli, because you didn't pay Benelli prices.
I think they took the best of everything out there. The 870 takedown, the Benelli choke tubes, the Mossberg, the rails, the John Moses Browning, which incorporates most all shotguns out there. They've taken all that and they've tried to put it into a budget friendly gun, and I hope this thing works. So
I hope it works too. I was looking for different prices. Look, buyer beware.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of options on it. Check your screws. Check the whole gun, and shoot it, dude. And like you said, if you get like mine, I caught it on sale, $99. 10 years ago. Still using it. Still running classes with it.
I think
$125 for the other one. What's up?
Yeah, I think I paid new for that Rock Island like $179 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure, but that was just a few years ago. So
you can't be expecting Benelli quality for $200. So
no,
this is something you can take in the woods, and if something happens to, who gives a crap, you know?
Yep.
And also, this is not a gun that you might pass it on to your grandkids, but it's not an heirloom firearm.
But the wood will last you forever because it's Turkish walnut.
Now,
I have no idea what kind of magical friggin' identity Turkish walnut has, but man, do they say it like that. In every review, they say like it has some magical properties.
Hey, I read about the difference between Turkish walnut and American walnut, but I couldn't pronounce the genus names of it. Plus, it sounded dirty.
Isn't
so? Go Google it, and I couldn't pronounce it, and I was afraid to offend somebody, so I just didn't even bring it up.
Isn't theoretically? Basically, the difference is the Turkish walnut is denser, so it's stronger.
There's a Turkish walnut, there's a European walnut, and American. It's like, it started like Nigal or like something else, and I was like, ooh, no.
Okay, so.
One more thing I'd like to know with these companies, like the stock. If I want to put a Magpul stock on it, is like, will it work? What will I have to use? Is going to be a Magpul stock for Remington, or is it going to be a Magpul stock for Winchester, Mossberg,
or a Winchester, or exactly.
Like which one of the three? What adapter do I need for this thing?
Yeah. Well, I think like Sean Heron got like $1,000 in one of his.
He bought a cheap one.
He had to Dremel out the stock to get it to go on. So buyer beware.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not trying to like add a bunch of stuff. That's a big plus too, and you got to think.
Run what you brung.
You got to think a lot of people out there, even people that listen to the show, they're not going to add stuff to this. They're going to buy it, they're going to use it, and that's it.
Truthfully, as far as I'm concerned, sling, light.
Yep.
Sling and light, and you should be set.
Yep.
Definitely a sling.
And it's got a rear sling swivel, so it's probably got a front one too.
It's got a front swivel at the end of the cap, but if you put the +1 extension, it has a kind of swivel that's between the extension and the regular tube that spins to the side.
And then there's one on the back of the stock, so on the bottom. Yep. So it's already got swivels there for you. So that is the Tokarov TX312 HD. So next up is something else that Primary Arms has come out with their 2022 optics releases. It is their SLX 5-25 by 56 first focal plane for $599.99. The one in the show notes is the Athena BPR mill reticle. I think the other one is caliber specific. This one is not. It's just a mill Christmas tree style reticle. But either way, like I said, they call it one of their ACSS reticles. But if you go there and click on the manual number 2, it it shows you a picture of the reticle, and essentially, it's illuminated in the center, and then it's got the Christmas tree hash marks. So we'll just say it's a Christmas tree reticle. But this thing, of course, go ahead.
Oh, the reticle, if you scroll through on the show notes, you look over, you'll see the reticle. It's lit up. It's nice and it's clear too.
Yeah. So, of course, it's 5 to 25 power, 56 millimeter objective. It does have 4 inches of eye relief, which is pretty nice on a scope this size. It's a 34 millimeter main tube made out of 6061 T6 aluminum. It is only basically 14 inches long. It does weigh 34.6 ounces, which a lot of them tend to weigh a couple pounds, so it might be a little heavier than others, but it's not terrible. Premium grade glass. The turrets are 0.1 mil click value. It does have an integrated return to zero, so essentially a zero stop. Elevation rotation indicators also. It's got the integrated magnification lever on the actual 5 to 25 adjustment. These are their new S-Select optics. Stole them from something else. You can change them, take it off. So if you don't want the little stand-up little knob for the magnification ring, you can take it off and get a shorter one or get a fold-down one. They make a few different options, which is pretty cool. Having the zero stop is always kind of a cool thing, especially if you've ever needed one. Like forgot to adjust your scope, at least with that, you just crank it down till it stops, and then you're at wherever your zero is. It looks like that field of view is 21 feet at 5 power and 4 feet at 25 power. Like I mentioned, it is first focal plane. It is night vision compatible. Let's see, it's red illumination if that matters. Elevation adjustment's 105 MOA, even though it's an MRAD style scope with MRAD marks on it. And total adjustment is 80 MOA. You can convert that to no. But essentially, you should be able to get whatever distance you're at, or you'd mount it on a 20 MOA rail or something to that effect. But I know Rob has one of our other people that we have discount codes for the Addable that's a 5 to 25. And I think this is pretty much in the same ballpark. I do know that it does have a lifetime warranty on this. So Primary Arms is doing that. You can do so much with these scopes now in this price range. It's just pretty much amazing. I'm all for it. I've looked through a few 5 to 25s, and I do, for longer range stuff, I do like the 5 to 25 power, especially if you're not doing anything close. If you're not shooting at 50 yards, a 5 power scope's fine. If you're not tracking running game or something. So in that case, I like it also. You guys can take it away now.
For $600, I think it's a pretty darn good price if the glass looks good and it can maintain zero. I mean, this looks pretty slick. I mean,
yeah,
I like it.
I think I can say that of the SLX,
especially for first focal plane.
Yeah. For the SLX optics that I've looked through have been really clear, especially for the price. I've always been kind of like, oh, these are decent glass. Even though they have their higher end lines, these are still decent glass for what you're getting. It's kind of like that. What was it? The 4 to 14. That's like $300. I mean, yeah, this one's twice the price, but you get twice the magnification almost.
I mean, if you're looking at this, I do like the little throw arms, the little knob that sticks out to help adjust the zoom on the scope.
Right.
Really good feature. I use that a lot on my other scopes that I have for long range shooting. And I don't think they would be dumb enough to put MOA adjustments. I'm guessing it's all going to be in MRAD adjustments.
It is MRAD, and the reticles MRAD are essentially,
which is good.
It's all in mils.
Yeah, there's some that'll do a mil reticle and an MRAD adjustment, which is absolutely stupid. Stick with the same for the scope and for the adjustment, but I mean...
You mean mil and MOA?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I gotcha. But yeah, I think a lot of people have gone away from that unless you're looking at super cheap scopes, which you probably shouldn't buy anyway.
I mean, the Christmas tree, once you get used to it, it's a really handy scope reticle to have for your scope. I mean, I like it. Zero stop, definitely a plus because it makes it very nice to reset your turrets if you've been shooting, 500-600 yards.
Right.
I mean, for the price, I mean, if it looks good, if the glass is good, it might be worth it, For an entry level long range scope, I think you're probably, it's probably worth it from almost everything I've seen come out of Primary Arms recently.
I was reading somewhere they said that you can use the scope. It's so clear that you don't have to adjust the dials on it. That you can use the tree out to 1,000 yards and still see bullet impacts you could spot for somebody, or even do calculations with the tree yourself and adjust your bullet impacts with it. That's how clear the glass is and how easy it is to see the Christmas tree on it. And they said if you do dial with it and you forget where it's at, say you put it in a bag and come back another day, just grab it and wrench it down back to zero. It's there. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a big plus because I know I've been like Chad. I forgot where I was at sometimes on mine and just start dialing. I'm like, I got to resight my whole damn gun in. Forgot how many clicks I turned.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you live and learn also that, like now, I know that you go all the way out counting clicks, so you can dial your scope all the way out and then click it down, say 150 clicks or however many to get your zero if it doesn't have a zero stop. But yeah. Tony? Nothing? He's shaking his head, so I guess not.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I mean, I don't do glass. I haven't done glass. I'd like to. And it's crazy because when we started out, I started saying that, 7 years ago? And the price of the quality of glass that we get has gone down. So if I keep delaying, I can get it for $199 and get some awesome stuff in about 7 years.
Well, you could look at it this way. For $199 now, you can get something that 7 years ago was $500.
Pretty much, yeah. Maybe even more. I wonder if I could go back and I wonder. Yeah, you're probably right.
There's this thing on the Googles, right? You can go back and pull up websites from different years. So can you go back and look at a scope, from back then?
Check out the features.
And compare it? You probably could, but okay. So that was the Primary Arms SLX 5-25x56. Next up, we have another imported firearm. It's imported by EAA, if that matters to you guys, but it's the Gerson MCP35 OPS optic, and the MSRP is $850. Essentially, this is the Gerson Browning high power. We may have talked about the P35. This is essentially their upgraded version. It's Browning high power, full size. It's got a longer beaver tail on it. It has a straight trigger on it. It's got a fiber optic front sight. It is cut and does come with an optic. It is their, far dot optic, 4 MOA red dot, with little fiber optic things with the rear sight built into it. But more importantly, because you're probably going to toss the sight, you just want it for one that has it, is that it uses an RMSC footprint, so you can put something on it. And then it says it also includes modifications for hollow sun optics. So I don't know which particular ones, but I wonder if it has a plate that you can use a standard like RMR cut on. Doesn't mention it. Does have G10 grips. It does have a rail on the front, so you can mount a light to it or various other things. It's got a beveled magwell, it says, which is kind of cool. But like we said, this is kind of the Browning high power that people are looking for. And, you know, I thought it was pretty cool. It does come with an optic. You know, it's not $1,200 like other people's, but then again, it is imported and made somewhere else. I liked it. I like the looks of it. I just wish they would put color pictures on their, you know, website. But hey, you get what you get. So, you know, I like it. I think I'd really like to feel it with the straight trigger. It looks cool. The G10 grips look functional. You know, like something VZ grips would make. But yeah, I mean, I like it. And I know Rusty has 68 tabs of stuff open on his computer to talk about how it's what Browning would design and use today or something like that, but I don't know. But you guys can take it away.
This is the high power that what the modern day handgun should be. It's all steel frame or alloy frame. This is it's already cut for a standard footprint, the RMR-C or S, whatever it is. It's high capacity. It's got the beaver tail. It's got the straight trigger on it. It's got the flared magwell. I'm going to say this. Nobody get mad. Everybody likes to say the 1911 won 2 world wars. This gun's been in service since 1926, 80-something years. It's been incorporated for over 80 different armies in 93 different countries. It's still standard issue for a lot of Canadians, Israeli troops. You go down the list of countries that Muammar Gaddafi carried one. Saddam Hussein carried one. These guns have been carried by everywhere. The Germany took over the Belgium in World War II. That's why they moved it to Canada. Canada made them for, you know, China. Everybody's copied these guns, and this gun right here, this particular model here, without the cut on it, is the reason Browning started making the high power again after their 4-year hiatus, because Springfield messed it up.
Yeah.
And they come back. They put the pick rail on it. They put the trigger on it. They put the beaver tail. They put the hammer on it. This is the Mark III model right here. Most everybody knows the high power, knows the high power for the Mark I model. This is the upgraded model right here. This is the Mark III. This is the slick model. This is the one that everybody, this is the 60s and up, I believe, is how that goes. This is what the high power should be if you want a modern day alloy gun. And I mean, what else can you say? John Browning was alive. He'd take this gun right here and he would smack the president of Springfield in the face and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Well, I looked at it when I saw this come in, and because I've been looking at their stuff for a while. We saw it out in Vegas. I was at the booth for, I don't know if it was Gerson or
T-Sauce or
SDS or whatever. It's all the Turkish companies come in together. They got quality guns, man, when it comes to these classic designs. They have the P-35, the Browning clone. They have the clone of the Beretta 92, and they have 1911. I see no reason why, if you want to get some of this stuff, and they have them coming out with all the features you want because they're listening to the customer base. Now, I don't know if it's the American, obviously it's the American market they're catering to, and they're listening to their importers, and they're just giving you what you want. So I know a lot of people, they start talking politics and why they won't buy a Turkish gun. Hey, listen, you do you, man. But if you want a high power that pretty much checks a lot of the boxes, And I've seen people still doing work on it. And that's probably one of the indicators that maybe you should have something of low quality if customizers refuse to do work on it. Because there are some companies that make clones of stuff, and people that do work, it's like, I'm not touching that thing because it's put together badly. It's not built to spec, all that kind of thing. I'm not hearing or seeing any of that from the people that are doing work on this particular pistol. Now, I have no idea what FN did wrong, that somehow they weren't selling the gun, but immediately when they took it off the market, two different companies started pumping out P35 clones. Like, maybe who the hell knows what was going on in FN while they couldn't sell their guns, but other companies can. This is what the new FN high power should actually have. It should have this cool stuff on it. It should have pick rails. It should have optics cut. It should have this straight cool test trigger. I'm liking it. And I'm hoping maybe I can hook up with Gerson or somebody in SHOT Show that makes some of these, and I can get them over to our diversity shoots, get in the hands of people, because the price point, the quality level, if it matches the 1911s that I shot at SHOT Show by these same companies, we're good. And also the ability, if you choose, to have custom work done on it. Understanding that you're not owning a Browning high power, but hey, people sometimes don't get custom work to sell their gun. They get custom work to improve their gun, or even just make it look cool. And it makes no difference to them whether it's a Browning high power or not. Matter of fact, it probably, at this point, since FN doesn't make the original Browning high power anymore, you don't want to send that gun in to get custom work on it, because it'll lose its value. If there's any in it, because it's been made in 85 countries, a crap load of them. I mean, it's like saying your high value SKS up to a point.
So they've been taking the TISA, which is the Mark III, which looks like the original. Mm-hmm. They've been putting original high power parts on it with minor fitting. That's with any high power there. And this is an upgraded version right here. And the two different companies, if you look at Gerson has cloned everything. They're making clones of everything. Their SAR 9, which comes out, you look at it, that's a VP9 from H&K. And they make a 1911 that their special ops people use. I mean, you go on their website and look. I mean, they're making top quality guns. They're cloning them, which, that's the thing nowadays. We're taking quality stuff from other people and we're cloning it. And some people are doing it better and some people are doing it cheaper. And it seemed like Turkey's got their finger on the button, and man, they're hitting it good. They're knocking it out of the ballpark, especially on this one. And the price is right.
I think they got here, they established themselves with importers, and they've been in it for the long haul. So they've done the things necessary. They've done the homework, and now opportunity is just banging out. And now, again, because of 2020, 2021, 2022, they got people looking at them, man, buying these things, because, again, their stuff looks like other stuff. Like, what's the difference between this and the Beretta? What's the difference between this and the 1911 made by other companies, especially when you're just getting into these firearms and you can have almost as good, nearly as good. And then you can get there with some custom work if need be. I wonder if some of the cylinder and slide stuff works on here, too.
Probably with minor fitting would be my guess.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, because it comes to that. Hey, listen, if I send this a cylinder and slide, will they do work on the $600 Browning?
That's a good question.
Who's a custom gun shop in New York that does the high power stuff? I can't think of the name. I think it's in New York. But they took the TISA and they customized it up there.
Well, that's cool.
Using Browning high power parts, and it run fine.
Yeah. Well, that is the Gerson MC P35 Optic. So there you go. Now you know it's a modified Browning high power that's imported. So take it for what it's worth. Price is $850, which that's MSRP. So these things are usually quite a bit cheaper. Now, next up, we have the Wee Knife Typhoeus. Every time I say that, I'm thinking, okay, now what kind of fever am I going to get now? But, hey, MSRP on this is like $350. Yeah, it's a little spendy. Oh, and 60 cents, at least according to their website. You can get it for $300 at Blade HQ. In the show notes, there is a little video of it on their Instagram. I know Tony made up a reel today that kind of showed it too, so you can go check those out. But what this is this is they call it a folding push dagger. And why it's that is because it folds from the push dagger out to be just a standard knife. They call it a fixed blade, which since it changes, I don't consider it a fixed blade, but you get the idea. It's an adjustable folding push dagger, fixed blade position. It's 6.25 inches long. The blade length is 2.27 inches long, and then the handle's 3.98 inches. In the push dagger position, of course, the overall length is changed to 4.53. The width is 3.02. The blade length is 3 inches, so you lose a tiny bit when you're going to the normal blade style. But then the handle length is 1.53. This thing only weighs 3.41 ounces. The blade material is CPM 20 CV. It's flat ground. It's silver. The one in the show notes is the blue titanium handle. They have silver and black, I think. They only sharpen one edge, which kind of makes sense since can be a fixed blade knife also, or that style. Handle material is 6AL4V titanium. It does come with a black leather sheath, and the sheath is in the push dagger style, so that's how you would carry it in the sheath. And if you watch the video, you can see they can flip it back and forth between each. Pretty simple. Now, my understanding is that it doesn't lock into either of those positions. It's just held there, and by you holding it in either the push dagger or the regular knife position, it holds it from folding. That's my understanding, just by the way it does kind of move. And you can kind of see it when you look at where it pivots and stuff like that. But I just thought it was a pretty cool design. It's a good looking dagger, and it's a good looking knife. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it. It doesn't weigh anything. That's kind of cool too. Tony, Rob, Rusty, someone?
Typhoid Mary, take your knife and go back home with it. I'll drop it out of my hand, cut myself, or stab it in my foot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
No.
go ahead. Yeah. All right. So I looked at it because I'm like, all right, what is this, man?
Yeah.
One, it's neither fish nor fowl. You got a push dagger that moves. So now all of a sudden my knife can be something totally different.
Yep.
If you're a knife collector and you want something unique and you want to drop almost 400 bones, go ahead. This is great because I haven't seen anything like it. But understand, just because you don't see anything like it doesn't mean it's a good thing. Might be a reason you don't see anything like it. So I looked at the blade steel and how I could spend my money if I wanted this same blade steel, because it supposedly is a good blade steel. Kershaw Launch, Blade HQ has their own exclusive. Kershaw Launch, same blade steel, $139, and it weighs in at 2.1 ounces.
Right.
So this is the Launch 13. It's lightweight, very, very lightweight. And I'm like, this is awesome, and it has a good blade. And then when you want to get into a push dagger, then get a push dagger. Again, same blade still. I looked it up and found one that actually has a fixed blade from We Knives, and it's $89, and it's still made with the same blade steel. And it's a neck knife, but also a dagger that's actually sharp on both sides, right, and weighs 0.72 ounces.
Yeah, because
combined, it's less money. Combined, it's less money and less weight than this one knife.
Well, see, the thing is I'm with you, Tony. I get that, and just carry a push dagger and a regular knife, but and I thought it was cool how it did that. And when I found out that it didn't, I was like, why didn't they put some sort of lock in it? Like either direction. Like, this thing needs to lock both open and in the dagger form. It needs to have some sort of lock, like a button lock or like a frame lock, or probably not frame lock, but like a button lock that holds the freaking frame together, basically. Because I was like, wait a second, I have to hold this? I mean, yeah, granted, the way the blade is designed can help with that, but I'm like, no, it's got a lock. Because when I kept looking at it and I was like, oh, that thing on the spine, maybe that's the lock for it. And then I was like, well, where's the lock in the dagger position? And then I found out it didn't have any locks. I was like, oh.
You remember as a kid taking grandpa's or your dad's?
There, Rusty's trying to cover his mic up again.
Okay, so you remember as a kid, you got grandpa or dad's Western case knife that had like the 3-inch blade on it, and they didn't have a lock on it, and you were messing around with it,
and you hurt yourself.
It had that castration blade on there. You know, everybody knows what that. A lot of people don't know what that round blade. That's a castration blade, bulls, and you almost lose a couple fingers with it. That's what's going to happen with this knife right here.
I was looking at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this is what I've noticed with knife reviews, because I got this and I've taken pictures of almost everything I did with it, and this is actually going to be written up and do a knife review on it, right? Eventually. Shut up, Chad. Anyway, I'm a very busy man. I'm doing extraordinary things. So I'm looking at my knife, and I took some pictures of it, tried to take some better photos from it so I can put it on the website. And I'm like, my knife is beat up, dude. You can see the pocket wear. You can see, because it's so lightweight, it's taken a couple of trips into the washing machine. And I'm like, I'm looking at these guys do reviews on their knives, and these knives look brand spanking new. I'm like, these people don't use their knives. They do it to do the little cut up of a tie or the cut up of some 550 cord, but they don't use the knife. It's not clip. I've worn this knife for a week. A week?
Drag it behind a horse, man.
This you can't see it on the video, but this is that petrified fish that I got a couple weeks ago, and of course I was prying staples out of wood for the targets at the range with it, and I'm like, oh, this is a good test for this thing, and all it did was kind of barely scuff up the side of the tip, not the blade itself, but just the side of it. And I was like, oh, that's a good plus for it.
Exactly. So when I was doing stuff with the knife, if I thought about it, I pulled out the phone and took a photo. Because these guys, I cut an envelope. It's an envelope, dude. I opened it with my finger. Like, you did nothing. I could have opened it with the cheapest knife ever made, or a fingernail file, or my house keys.
Yeah, or your finger.
Use your knife. Well,
Use a wild hog with one and see if you need to sharpen it afterwards.
Did you?
I did that. Yes, I did.
Well,
with a cheap, this Best Tech right here.
There you go.
D2.
And did you have to sharpen it though afterwards?
Afterwards.
Yeah.
I skinned the entire hog, and I cut the shoulders loose, twisted through the bones, popped the shoulders off of it, all 4 hindquarters, took the tenderloins off, and busted the ribs with it to get the tomahawk chops off of it that I wanted with this knife. And then I sharpened it when I got home.
Nice.
And I can shave my arms with it, and they're $50.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, what, this petrified fish was $30. D2.
I know.
D2 steel. Did Tony ever buy one?
No, I didn't buy one because I'm doing something else right now.
That makes sense.
With the money.
Okay.
We're trying to get out the SHOT Show.
Yeah.
And I figured one more folding knife is just not worth it. You got one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that was the Wee Knife Typhoeus. Now, I don't think you can get this there, but Primary Arms does seek to provide you with the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from your favorite brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearm parts, and shooting gear. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, fast shipping, and an expert support team. Our Primary Arms product of the week this week is It's their PLX 30 millimeter cantilever scope mount. This is their top of the line scope mount. It literally, it's for an AR. You can use it on other stuff. Weighs like 6 ounces, which is like nothing. In fact, I mounted it up to the GLX scope they had sent me. I remounted the scope because I wanted to try this mount out. It has like 3 clamping screws, 1 complete clamp across it, and then it has 2 recoil lugs in it. So you can use it on something super powerful if you would like because of those recoil lugs. It's pretty cool. It's a little pricey, but if you're looking at top of the line stuff, you know, it's not terrible. It is also 100% made in the USA, so there is that also. Now, if you want to sign up for Primary Arms newsletter, you can go to FRNdeal/PA, and the coupon code for FRN will still get you that M-Lock barrier stopping device if you buy the Expo Arms Combat Series chrome-lined barrel. So, that is what Primary Arms is doing. I actually ordered over the weekend. They had a magazine sale, so of course I ordered some 21 round 320 mags, and I did order one of those Z9 9 round Glock 43 mags. I figure I'll try one of those out. So, listener feedback. The only listener feedback we have is from Joe Rogan and Tony Simon, so it's not worth reading. So, Tony, I know there's something happening this week, but you can tell us about other stuff also.
There's a diversity shoot coming up on the 13th, which is Thursday. So by the time you guys hear this show on the podcast, it was awesome, and you should have been there. We also have another one coming up on the 28th of this month. That's going to be, I think, in Monroe, New Jersey. So we're shooting around the state. We're in Pennsylvania. We're going to have some great ones. We also have one coming up November 10th. We have another one on November 22nd. We have another one like right before Christmas on the 29th. And I forgot, I think we have one in the first, second week of December too. So again, 2 a month till the end of the year. If you haven't made one, make it, please. And if you haven't donated to us, go to diversityshoot.com and help us out, because it ain't cheap. And kind of like a lot of my stuff is in storage. So I could use the ammo donations or even cash, because we're trying to get to Vegas. And hopefully we get to Vegas and I won't have to stay in the hood with Chad. He's got a place that kind of looks all right, but we're going to have to do a satellite view and see if there's any chalk outlines in the parking lot, unlike the last place Chad got us. So if you want to help me live through Vegas, please donate at diversityshoot.com so I may get out alive. Thank you very much.
You want me to bring my camper? We can stay in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, how long a drive is it for you, Rusty?
Ooh, that'd be like 23 hours.
Yeah, I looked at it too to see, and I'm like, it's probably cheaper to fly, and you got to drive back.
$1,000 gas there one way.
It's even cheaper for me to fly, and it's like a 16-hour drive.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, go to one of Tony's diversity shoots if you're anywhere close. Now, you can send us questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review somewhere. You can check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.net. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider at firearmsinsider.tv. You can see all the reviews. There's links to the podcast. There's also a link so you can sign up to win that Primary Arms Classic Red Dot. And you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.